Okay, now that we have the pumpkin stuff out of the pumpkin, we are ready to make homemade pumpkin bread. Now this is 2 cups, I've already cooked it down, ready to go in the recipe, 2 cups of pumpkin. Now if it's easier for you, just use canned pumpkin, that's fine. But just make sure that you don't use pumpkin pie filling. Now, this 2 cups of pumpkin along with all these ingredients is going to make 2 loaf pans of the most awesome pumpkin bread. Now start off by preheating your oven to 315 degrees. Okay, to start with, get your favorite beer, or you could use wine. Measure out exactly 1 cup. Okay. Because starting with this before your guests arrive will make them so much more tolerable. Okay. On with the recipe. To get started, you want to go ahead and coat your loaf pans with butter, margarine, oil, anything like that. To make this really easy, go ahead and put on your hand a sandwich baggie. I use a little bit of Smart Balance butter, not too much, and go ahead and coat both pans completely in the bottom and all up the sides, all the way to the top. That way you do not have to go wash your hands once you get all that on there. Done. Okay. Sprinkle a little flour in there, and this is going to make getting the pumpkin breads out of here so much easier. See that? Just coat it down just like that. So it's ready to put the pumpkin bread in there. Start off with a large mixing bowl, and we're going to put into that 3 cups of sugar. Now my mama and her mama and her mama always used 1.5 cups of brown sugar and 1.5 cups of regular sugar. Now to that we're going to add 1 cup of oil, and we're just going to mix that together. Get the clumps out of it and things like that. And basically what we're doing is we're just going to mix all of the wet ingredients in this large bowl first. Then we'll get to the dry ingredients in a little bit. Okay, to that we're going to add 4 eggs and our 2 cups of pumpkin. Now y'all, I do not mix these eggs up first. I just go ahead and plop them in there. And our 2 cups of pumpkin. And go ahead and stir all that together. Now, I want to let y'all know, this pumpkin bread, every time I make it, has such good memories for me. I remember being a little girl, my mama baking this in the holidays, during the holidays, Christmas time. She would make these for all of our neighbors, wrap them up in pretty little packages, and send me out like the postman to deliver them to all the neighbors. And it is such a nice memory for me. All right, that doesn't take too much to get that stirred all together. Now that's your wet ingredients. Now we're going to move on to the dry ingredients. Don't forget your cup of beer. Okay, we have 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, to which we are going to add our spices. Start with 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon baking powder. This happens to be Rumford brand. It's aluminum free. You don't want the aluminum in there. 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, maybe a little extra for good measure, 1 teaspoon of allspice, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and maybe a little extra. I like all that in there. And a 1/2 teaspoon of cloves. Now just stir all that together. Now I can tell you, once you make this, you're not going to be able to keep from eating it. So, all right, get that stirred up really well. Now that we've got our wet ingredients and dry ingredients, we're going to be combining them. Oh, and there goes the fork right into the mixture. Happens every time, but it's okay. Okay. All right, what we're going to do is just add half of the dry ingredients into the pumpkin mixture. Just dump half that in there. And then add half of the 2/3 cup of water. Doesn't have to be exact. We're going to add it all together anyway. It just makes it easier to mix is all that does. So look at that. We're just going to mix all that together. Now that that's stirred together, just add the other half of the flour mixture and the rest of the water, and just continue to stir that together. Now that that is all combined, you can see that it is a thick mixture. We're just going to add to that 1 cup of walnuts. Now that's what the recipe calls for, but I usually use about 2 cups. I like a lot of walnuts in this pumpkin bread. Now, if you prefer pecans, you can use pecans. If you don't like any nuts in there at all, you do not have to add any. It's just if you like them. I just happen to prefer walnuts in the pumpkin bread. Okay, we are finished stirring our pumpkin bread mixture. We're going to go ahead and pour it into our already greased and floured pan. Now remember, this does make 2 loaf pans, but for the video I'm just going to go ahead and pour in enough for the one right now. So just for a little extra decorative touch, I just picked out 3 nicely shaped walnut halves. I'm just going to put them on top there, just like that. We're going to go ahead and put it in the oven. Now remember, we started this at 315 degrees, but after 1 hour we're going to lower it to 300 degrees to cook for the final half hour. This part of the baking is a crucial step to making the pumpkin bread perfect. All right, now back to your beer. This makes the wait way more fun. All right, y'all, it has been 1.5 hours and it is ready. Oh my gosh, I wish y'all could smell this. It smells so wonderful. Mike loves this pumpkin bread. He tears this stuff up. All right, let this cool for a little while, and then just gently run a butter knife along the edges just to make sure that it's broke free from the pan. And it should dump out pretty easily. Oh my gosh. Doesn't that look so pretty? I love this stuff. I just want to show you an easy way to wrap this, and also if you're going to give this as a Christmas gift or take it to a holiday party, here's a great way to do that. Go ahead and lay out on your counter, shiny side down, some aluminum foil, and then on top of that lay down some plastic wrap about the same size. Okay, right on top of that. Now it's important to place the pumpkin bread this way on the plastic wrap and the aluminum foil. Go ahead and cover the pumpkin bread all the way with the plastic wrap. And then kind of cover the ends with the plastic wrap. Then the aluminum foil, bring it up to meet in the center, and then just kind of fold this down just till it gets right there. And the ends you're just kind of fold over like a present, like that. If it doesn't come together all the way, it's fine. Now, just take you some pretty little ribbon and run that underneath. All right, look at that. That is beautiful. Now you are ready to go to your holiday party and bring an awesome dessert. If you have never made homemade, fresh pumpkin bread, I promise you it will be a hit. Try it and let me know what you think. And thanks for watching.